Okay, so yesterday I replaced the key switch on my four-wheeler, and today I'm going to be replacing with something better. There is another switch. So, let me grab the camera. Over here on the handlebars, this switch here, if I turn the key on, this switch turns on the backup light, and it's just toggle switch hanging here. So it nicely has bullet connectors, and I already test fitted the new one over there, which is a handlebar mounted switch. That's why this doesn't have one of the covers. So this is this has the bullet connectors, and this has them on the end too. As you can see, this is the old one I slid on. So what I'm gonna need to do this is obviously the new switch, a pair of cutters to cut zip ties, I'll probably end up going and getting some zip ties to pre-secure wiring, a screwdriver. I have both these, Phillips screwdriver, and this is a bunch of heat shrink because this is too loose, so I'm gonna put a heat shrink over it to hold it on, and then obviously heat gun for the heat shrink. First step is going to be removing the old switch. So first I'm going to unplug these bullet connectors. Now this light seemed to have a connection problem where it wouldn't turn on all the time, and I think that's because there's corrosion on the ends of these. These look pretty good though, as well as this is a little bit big for the connector I have. So I'm just going to take the crimping end of a pair of a crimper. I'm going to crimp it down to make it a little bit smaller so it will fit. And then, so the old switch is just held on with a bunch of zip ties. So, grab my cutters. I had made a zip tie harness thing that held it, and that ended up breaking. That's why there's a zip tie right here running around this whole throttle. My throttle system isn't broken or anything. Was I replacing it during this hole? So here's the switch. It's just a toggle switch. So as you can see, these wires and the wire and switch is much shorter than this new one. Yeah. So what I'm gonna be doing is gonna mount this on the handlebar, kind of in between these throttle cable and this wire. And I'm going to run this wire down in here. And this is where it used to connect up here. I'm just going to keep this down. Let me move the camera so you can see. I'm just going to keep these down in here somewhere. So I guess the next step is going to be mounting the new switch. Actually, is it? Yes. Next step is going to be mount the new switch. So, repositions, so what I want to do is put it, if I can even see what I'm doing with the camera here, put it right in there. I'm hoping it will fit, because I didn't exactly, when I was getting this, realize that was there. These wires came out here, so I'll find a way to make it work. So next I'm going to need my Phillips screwdriver, and this is the clamp. I'm just going to loosen, actually no, I'm going to take out both these screws that hold the clamp that hold this to the handlebars on. Test fit this, get it in a position that hopefully is easy to reach. And then wire it up. This is, luckily, don't need to do any soldering. I'm not exactly sure where the solderer is right now. Once I get these screws out, there. So then, this back half of the clamp just, I was going to say just comes off, but it doesn't. It's attached to this wire by this little cable tie thing. So I'm going to cut that, I hope, and try to get it off. Almost. There we go. So now we have the switch that is hopefully I wasn't really counting on this. Can I mount it there? Is that curved? Kind of is. I wasn't counting on these being here. Put it on this side. Okay, rethink this. What if I remounted it on this side of the bars where everything else is besides my throwing? Could I mount this here? That would put a lot on this side. That would put the winch control and all the other light controls. Could I reach it? The other question. From here, not easily. Not like super duper easily, but I could. Whereas from there, it's about the same distance. I don't want to move the winch control because I can... Oops, keys on. Because I can reach it. I'll mount it on this side for now. And if I end up not liking it, I'm not sure what I'm going to do anymore. I think what I'm going to do is shut the camera off, figure out what I'm doing, where I want to mount it, and then come back. So, I'll see you once I've got this figured out. So, I've decided I'm going to mount it on this side, right here. So now, where have I put the switch? Oh, great. As soon as I turn the camera back on, there it is. That's the alarm. As soon as I turn the camera back on, I lose something, right? Here it is. So, what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do is attach it here loosely and then slide it up this way so I can get the bracket in behind it. So, set it there because it will stay there for now. Find L screw number 2. And put that there. Actually, I'm gonna just start it off of it, and then hopefully that will give me. Will this work? This is not gonna be easy, is it? Nothing's ever easy. Okay, run with that. Go. So now that I have that started, I'm going to take this, flip it around like that, clamp it around there, and now I have to get the bottom one in. Fun, right? Wouldn't be quite so bad if I didn't have the brake lines and everything in my way. So, we ordered another brake piston for the front because we realized we only ordered one accidentally. So I'm going to have to get this one tightened up because I can't get to it. Or tightened up, not all the way. And I'll take the slack out with the bottom one. So now that that's like that, take this up and around, and now tighten this bottom one down, and hopefully that will, there, that's better. Yeah, I think this is going to end up working out better than having it on the other side. It would be at an awkward angle. Here I could take one hand off and flip it and still drive. So next is going to be routing this down to here and plugging up wiring. So I have to get my camera down. So this connector here is slightly too big for this one here. It slides in and it's way too loose, as you can see, but this one's nice and tight. So what I'm gonna grab over here real quick. I forgot a tool I was gonna need. Okay. So I got these wire stripper crimpers. So what I'm gonna do is just take this and Squeeze it to shrink it down. There we go, these are tight. Now, will this plug in and be tight? Could be tighter. I don't want to have a bad connection. The old one kind of had a bad connection in here. Oops, hit the camera again. Now it's almost too tight. It's a little bit too tight. These lined up, I wouldn't have to be doing this. There we go. Now I think I'm good. There. So that plugs into there. And this one just plugs into there. Now this one's already got the cover on it. This one didn't actually come with one. Not sure why. So this comes here. And this one goes inside there. But what I'm going to do is put a piece of heat shrink tubing down here to hold this piece on. So unplug that. Figure out what size I'm going to want. It needs to be big enough to get over this, but small enough that it's going to wrap down around the wire. So next step. So now let's just hope this works. Because if not, this isn't going to be so fun to deal with. Okay, make sure everything's lined up and ready. And then give us a bit of time to heat up. That won't take very long. Ooh, it's hot. I think it's gonna work. Good. So now let's not burn something with this, so as you can see, I just got out of shot there. Just put this heat shrink around there. This should now hold that. Give that time to cool off. Do I do it with this side? I don't think I'm going to do it with this side. This side was just like you could pull this off that way. So now but that's cooling. I'll grab some zip ties to tidy everything up, but just bring the camera up a bit. Now, if I come over here, turn the key on, and there. I'm gonna go turn the garage lights off. It's a glass cover over the rear bulb, or of the rear light, as you see, as I've fixed before. So that is the install. Now I just have to do the final cleanup, so I will let that cool, run up and grab some zip ties, and zip tie everything to the handlebars and get it nice and neat out of the way. So now the last step is to tidy up all this wiring.